what's up guys, JK Disc Golf here, and we're about halfway through the season, so many people have asked for an in the bag, so I guess I'm going to do a little bit of an updated in the bag. There has been a lot of changes that have gone inside this bag, so might as well show you guys. So let's just jump right in and do what everyone does in the beginning and go with putting putters. So last time I did an in the bag, and the last couple times I actually was putting with P2s, and that is now changed to the new Nate Sexton Tour Series Fireflies. They're basically a P2, but an Innova version. I love them. I feel like for some reason I putt better with them. Maybe it's a different type of plastic. This is now a Nexus instead of like a DX type of plastic. But they feel pretty much the same. I would say that they are identical, but I've been using the X line, so the rim was a little bit more of a curved, when now the Firefly is not that. But everything else, it seems pretty much the same. Now on to two throwing putters. One is my off the tee short upshot approach. Just anything straight, short and straight. I'm going with the XT Bullfrog. What I like about this is, like I've said before, is the shallow rim. I don't like deep rim putters because I just feel that I just turn them over, or I just rip lock them way too much. I don't know, that's just kind of a me thing. So the Bullfrog is very shallow, and I can give this thing a little bit of hyzer. It'll flip up. I've had this in the bag for a little bit now, so it is beaten up, so I do have to give it hyzer to flip up, or if I throw it flat and hard, it's just going to keep going to the right. So Bullfrog, it's great for the short approach shots and those up shots where I can just give it a little bit of hyzer, let it flip up, and ride dead straight. Something new that has been added to my bag, and it's part of the game that I've been improving lately a lot on, and that is the short approach sidearm, maybe a short off the tee sidearm as well. And what I'm using now is an R Pro Pig. I love this thing for just sidearm shots. That's all I'm using it for. Maybe once in a while a short hyzer I'll give it on, but I just love this thing for those approach shots. I can kind of just put on any angle, let it hold, maybe get a little flex, something like that. I can trust the Pig no matter what, even in the wind, because it is overstable. I can just give full trust to the Pig, commit to my shots, and I just love it for that short sidearm approach. Basically, shout out Ricky for kind of opening my eyes to the Pig. Next, we're going to go on to mid-ranges, and this is another category that has kind of changed. I think almost every one of these categories except my fairway. No, and my fairway drives have changed. Every category now is changed in my bag. So we're gonna go least stable to most stable. So my most understable mid-range has not changed. That is the Star Mako 3. I'm gonna put this thing on any angle, and I know it's going to the right no matter how hard I throw it. So I need a short shot that I need to go to the right, I'm going with that Mako 3 all day. I usually just get a little bit of hyzer, let it flip up, turn to the right, and it just keeps turning. I've had this thing for about 5 years, and right now it's not coming out of the bag because I love it for those anhyzer shots. Now this is where the big changes happen. Many of you guys know that I'm not a big fan of how the rock felt in my hand just because of the weird lip it has or whatever. So I tried to convince myself that I liked the feel and that I would just fight through the pain until it felt normal. Well, kind of got to the point where I didn't want to do that anymore. And after Innova sent me this disc to kind of try out, which is the Star Lion, I fell in love with it. I feel like I can throw this thing hard and flat, and it's going to go dead straight for me, maybe a little bit of fade to the turn, or if I really throw it hard, I can get a little bit of turn to the right out of it. And that's something that I love. Now I have two Lions in the bag. This one is a little bit older, and this one's brand new. So this one I'm going to try to beat in so I can throw this thing dead straight no matter what every single time. When I have this Star Lion for when maybe it's windier and I need it to kind of fight the wind a little bit more or have a consistent finish to the left for me. But from now on, my main mid-range that I'm grabbing is my Star Lion. I can throw this thing pretty dang hard, and I can throw it pretty far too as well. So I can know that I can grip and rip it and know that it's not just going to turn and burn on me. It's basically going to always hold that straight flight and consistently fade to the left. So that's my new main mid-range. And then, as always, I have my Star Cayman for that overstable mid-range shot. If I just need that hook, that big hyzer, maybe once in a while I'll pump out a little bit of a sidearm shot that my Pig can't reach. But that's basically all it became, and this basically has never changed. It's that overstable mid-range that you need in your bag. So that is all the mid-ranges I have. Now going on to fairway drivers. I have 3 of them. This has not changed. I'm not a big fairway guy, and I typically don't throw these during the round either. It's just once in a while the shot is needed, so I have discs to prepare for that. Again, we're going to go from least stable to most stable. My least stable fairway driver is my Simon Lizotte signed FD C-Line plastic. Now, what I'd like to think of this disc as basically a longer Mako 3. I'm going to throw this thing, no matter how hard I throw it, it is being to the point where it's just going to kind of glide and just ride to the right the whole way. So that's just something that I reach for this FD, is when I just need something to go to the right. Now, the other FD is in luster plastic. It's not as beaten in, and it holds my more of a stable flight, so it will pretty much go dead straight, a little bit turned to the right, but have a consistent fade to the left. So basically, the difference between these two is if there's more of a headwind, I will go with the more less beat in one, or if I need something to go straight with a little bit fade to the left, I'll go with this one, and if I need to turn to the right, I go with this one. Something newer that has been added to my bag is the Discmania Instinct. Basically, I'm grabbing this for any 325-foot shot where I can just kind of throw it hard, straight, maybe a little bit turned to the right. I'm going with the Instinct. Now, we're going to jump into my drivers just because I have to touch on my Thunderbird is basically the opposite of my Instinct. This is where I'm going to throw it hard, flat, with a little bit of fade to the left. Now, this is kind of the difference between the two. If I need to turn to the right, I go with Instinct. If I need to turn to the left, I go with my Thunderbird. This Thunderbird is brand new, so it's not beaten in, so it still has that little bit of stability to it. I'm sure once it gets more beat in that these discs will start to overlap, and that's when I will make the decision on what to do from there. But I think from there, we're going to transition into my drivers now. And we start with the Thunderbird. Like I said, I'm going to throw it hard and flat, and I'm just going to get that consistent fade to the left every day. Now, I got this awesome stamp on it. We're just going to touch on it real quick. What this means is, why be humble, or no humble? That's just something of my philosophy. But if you guys want me to touch on that later, hit me up in the DM. I'll kind of explain a little bit for you. No, I'm not some arrogant guy. This is kind of just something that I live by. So like I said, if you want to talk to me about it, hit me up in the DM. With the Instagram plug down below, it's just JK Disc Golf. Make sure to hit that follow button on Instagram. Now we're going to go with my overstable drivers, which are my Firebirds. I have 2 Firebirds. I'm working on just beating this one in as much as I can. What my end goal is, this Firebird I want to beat into where it goes pretty dang straight the whole way with a little bit of fade at the end. And the goal with this one is to keep it super overstable, so no matter what, no matter wind, it's going to just push and push and push to the left all day. Give me that flex sidearm, just all that kind of good stuff. So right now, like I said, this was my more beat-in one, so I've just been beating this one as much as I can. Right now, it is still overstable, but it's not as overstable as the Gucci Firebird. A little bit of a failed dye job, but who cares? It's still got that Gucci logo on. So this disc is about $900. But in all seriousness, this is my overstable meat hook. No matter the wind, I really just kind of focus this on flex sidearms or hard sidearms that I need to just fade with having no chance of going to the other way. Or if I need a big hyzer, just any kind of meat hook that's not going too far, I'd say 300 is about the max that I would want to push this. But those are my Firebirds. Basically just have them in there for that meat hook sidearm shot. Now, the last mold of disc that I have, this is the kind of one of the big changes in my bag. I have 8 of them. 8. So I guess we'll try to go by stability, but they're not rearranged that way, but that's fine. So here we go. So we'll start with the least stable, and that is this blue bad boy Halloween Stamp Destroyer. This thing is super understable. It is, I think, might be the most understable disc in my bag. This is way more understable than the FD. But the reason I have this in my bag is that I use it for flip-up sidearm shots. My sidearm isn't as powerful as my backhand, so I need a little bit of less stability to get this thing to go far. So I can give it a little bit of hyzer, let it flip up, turn to the left, and I'll always come back. That is what I'm counting on this. If I'm feeling weird, this is also my roller disc, because backhand I can kind of force it over, and it'll go a long ways. Kind of to match that, I have a 158 Ricky Destroyer. Again, it's the same thing. I throw it sidearm, except that I don't it doesn't push to the left as much. It kind of just is dead straight with a little bit of fade at the end. That's just something that I've been working on, is that just that flip up destroyer. This one just a little bit more stability. Then same type of thought process is this destroyer with the Distort Team Stamp, is I will throw it sidearm hard and flat. I'll kind of just focus on this one to glide more out and with a less fade at the end, because I can just throw it hard. Or it's my destroyer where I can give it hyzer, let it flip up, and ride a long ways to the right before coming back. Then I have just my Brimster Destroyer. This one is more just like a backup in case I lose one of these, but I can also mash this thing if I need it. I predominantly throw it sidearm when I just need it to hook. I don't count this one on distance. It's more of just a short shot. Maybe I need to skip, something like that, but I'm not pulling it out too much. Then we will go to my more overstable destroyers, which these ones are kind of like the ideal destroyer, I would say, as I do have a Paul Macbeth one. Now, what I use these ones for is that hook shot, that meat hook shot where I'm still pushing out about 350, 375, but I kind of just fades and fades and fades. I don't really try to get max distance off these ones, but I just kind of put them out there, let them maybe get a little bit of turn out of them. Most of the time I don't get turn out of them, but that's not the point of these discs. It's just to fight the wind. If there's a headwind, I'm pulling out these ones because then I will get that turn and I will get my max distance. Now, finally, my last two destroyers are the Ricky destroyers, both max weight. This one right now has been my main thrower. I think the farthest I've ever thrown it is 480. Now, that is definitely not a usual thing. I usually can put this thing about 425, maybe higher. I consistently throw it 425 though. And then this is my main bomber. I can throw this thing on a little bit of hyzer, let it flip up, glide to the right, and fades back every time. Now I just have this brand new Ricky Destroyer that I just got, and it's just not as beaten in. So if there is a small headwind, I can push this thing out and know that the stability is still going to carry it towards the left every time. These things aren't flipping on me. They're coming back every time, and they're super consistent. I love both of them, and they're my main distance driver. But that's my bag, guys. That is my updated in the bag halfway through the season. As you could tell, there's been a lot of changes going on in my bag, and they're all for the better, I think. I've eliminated some overlapping. I'm still kind of making the bag as perfect as it possibly can be, and we're still working on that, and I don't think it's going to be ever completed to my full satisfaction, but we're getting there. This is just my bag, guys. If you have any comments on any of the discs down below, make sure to drop it in the comment section below. Drop a like, because I finally did another in the bag. It's been a kind of an in the making kind of thing, but make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed. Hit the subscribe button down below and the bell so you get notifications on all the new videos. But as always, make sure to keep throwing.